I'm a very active person. I don't smoke. I don't really drink. And I was still diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer at the age of 38. I had not common symptoms. The first thing that I noticed is that I had trouble finishing going to the bathroom. I was at work, it was the evening, and I felt like I had pulled a muscle in my side, but I hadn't done anything to make me think that I had pulled a muscle, so I was just really confused. I looked it up and it said gas. It wasn't. My sister later joked that I'm the only person that Googled her symptoms and it didn't tell her that she had. I started getting shooting pains from my side to my middle. My was actually really high up on my left side. That's why it was also confusing to doctors, because that's not normally where colon cancers are. They just became more frequent and more painful, and I went and saw a new GI. I woke up the next day in the most pain I'd ever been in my life. I drove 45 minutes to work. They sent me home, and on my way home he called and said the inflammation levels in your blood are really high, and you have to have a colonoscopy on Friday.
Although Elizabeth was young and healthy, she was showing worrying signs and desperately needed tests done to determine what was wrong.
They ended up sending me to a CT scan on Thursday, which was March 14th, and that's where they found the tumor in my colon and the spots on my liver, and I ended up being admitted to the hospital that evening. I didn't have in my stool until literally the day that I was admitted. They still thought it was something else. It had never crossed anyone's minds that it was colon cancer. The first doctor that I went to was leaving the network, and they told me to find another doctor. That doctor said I had IBS and bacterial overgrowth, and then said to me, "This is what I think is wrong with you, and I'm never wrong, so this is what's wrong with you." And I called his office after my surgery to let them know that he was wrong. And when I asked my GI later, when they called him with my scan results from the CT scan, what his thoughts were, he told them that they had made a mistake and that they had mixed my scans up with somebody else. It wasn't something that was necessarily on people's radars. I know that it's slowly becoming more of a thing for GIs to pay attention to. The number of cases that are showing up is staggering.
With the rises of cases, it is important for people like Elizabeth to know how vital it is to get regular testing.
Colonoscopies can be uncomfortable. Cologuard can be, people don't like doing these things, and I understand that, but I can guarantee you that sucks way worse than a colonoscopy. My surgery that removed over half of my liver and about a foot of my colon and my gallbladder sucked way worse than a colonoscopy. And I don't feel like I'm yelling into the abyss sometimes. It was not something that I ever thought about until I was diagnosed. I was diagnosed stage 4 at the age of 38. I luckily am 4.5 years free. I will hope to be celebrating 5 years free on July 1st. I have to get to 10 years to be considered cured for stage 4. For most other, if you make it 5 years without a reoccurrence, then they consider you cured. But for stage 4 colon, there were enough cases of people having reoccurrences in years 5 through 10 that they continue checking. I get people calling me pretty regularly or reaching out to me pretty regularly because they know somebody who's been diagnosed.
With the rises of new cases every year, it becomes very important that people are regularly tested.
I had 2 that I took. One was an infusion every 3 weeks, and then I took Xeloda, which were pills. It was a struggle, right? Because they put the nurses would come, they do your blood work, they're just in their scrubs, and then they come back with your meds, and they're in like a full hazmat suit to just hook up the and you're looking at them like, okay, you don't even want to touch it. And you're literally injecting it straight into my veins. So that was always funny to me. But also, I had to take pills as my second medication, and I didn't realize how hard it was to take. I mean, we all know it's poison, but it's poison that saves your life, right? The funny thing about that also is that the oxaliplatin side effect is that you can't eat, drink, or touch anything cold. It's just uncomfortable. And so I took all of my pills with hot drinks, hot apple cider, hot chocolate, and I have not had a hot drink since I finished chemo, which was over 4 years ago. I just can't do it.
Elizabeth often wonders, at what point is she just very unlucky?
My mom passed away when I was 4 months old. She was diagnosed 10 days after I was born. I had when I was 2. I was the first child in medically recorded history, or one of the first children in medically recorded history, to have that type of me getting stage 4 colon at 38. There's no real explanation for that either. I think that it's hard to just accept that sometimes it's just bad luck, right? I don't have a family history either. I guess now I am the family history. They tested like over 100 genetic possibilities for me, and all of mine were negative. So I totally get it that it's super easy to say, you know, just do all these super healthy things. But what's happening right now with colon, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're not eating meat. It doesn't matter that you're not smoking. It doesn't matter that you're active. It doesn't matter to whatever is happening right now with colon, especially in younger people, because I did all those things. I did all the right things and I still got it. So I would tell anybody who you should start paying attention to your stool, to what is normal and what's not normal, and you should be talking to your doctor.
It can be a very scary time for someone young to be diagnosed with a worrying disease, but we are so glad that Elizabeth is in good health. We hope her message reaches people and encourages them to get checked. The comment section was filled with people showing their support and their own experiences. One person said, "First of all, I'm sorry, but were you given any indication why it was becoming so rampant in young people? I know 3 women under 35 in the last 2 years." Another viewer wrote, "The most terrifying thing about this video, in my mind, is all the mistakes the doctors made." We all wish Elizabeth all the best and hope she continues to spread awareness. Do you have any similar experiences? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like this video, then be sure to follow our other social pages for more content like this. And if you have any of your own videos you'd like to share, be sure to send them in. As always, thanks for watching Happiest.